Okay. Credentials. So still the people are yet to submit an assignment. So when you guys will complete again today, we'll give one more, some
So
more.
today I'll submit.
So today by noon I'll submit, sir. I have other 10 to complete and I'll submit sooner.
But I'm gonna give some more assignments today. Then again, we need to work more. Okay, let's log into Jenkins. Port number 8080. Let's log into Jenkins. Where is this? Okay, so Vinayak, have you installed Jenkins?
Yes, sir. I have installed with Ubuntu. Then it was installed.
Is that working?
Yes, yes, it is working fine.
Okay, Vinay Chikeri.
Yes, sir.
Have you installed Jenkins?
Yes, sir. I am Sir Jenkins. I am working on Apashatan, sir.
What happened?
I have installed Jenkins and I'm working on Jenkins Apashatan.
It's not Jenkins. It's Jenkins. Pronounce proper tool name. Are you working on assignment?
Yes, sir.
So how many are completed?
Mm, Git is one pending, sir. In Git. In
What is
Linux
it?
is
Git
pending.
is pending.
Yes, sir. Git second assignment is pending. Git first and third assignment is completed.
No, yeah. Why you're see, people are working on Jenkins assignment. Then you are saying only pending with Git. Are you really interested here? See,
Yes, sir.
another 5 6 sessions. We're gonna close Jenkins. Then when you will start Jenkins? You need to work on time, yeah. At least try to understand the concept. So when you work on the assignment only, you will have a grip on tool. Have you done the registration?
Sir, done, sir.
Then are you really interested here?
Yes, sir. Interesting, sir.
Then I don't see that. See, whenever I ask, you will say behind the tool, like, okay, you are working on Git, you are working on Linux, you are working on scripting. And what about Jenkins? The ongoing tool is Jenkins only, right?
Yes.
Then when you will work? There are a lot of assignments that I've given already. Three assignments from Jenkins. Again, I will do 2 more weeks to complete Jenkins. Then when you're working Jenkins, we are working on Docker. Okay, is my screen visible for everybody? Vinay, you will listen and you will go. That's it. That's what you are doing, Vinay Chikeri. You are not even taking this as serious. You are not even understanding our concerns here. Can we set a target? Can we set a target? Vinay Chikere, I'm asking you.
Yes, sir.
You need to speak here. Tell me when you are going to complete Git assignment.
I will complete it.
When you will, I'm asking here, when you will complete the Git assignment.
I will complete it by today or tomorrow, sir.
By 17th, you will complete all Git assignment.
Sir.
Okay. Now, when you will complete the Jenkins assignment? When you will complete the Jenkins assignment?
I will try to do it, sir.
When?
Exactly.
When? You tell me the dates. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
By 17th,
January.
you will complete Git. January?
Sir. I think 18 or 20, sir.
Okay. 18 or
20.
20th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. By 20th, you will be completing all the assignments then, right? Including
Yes, sir.
Jenkins and scripting and all. Correct?
What thing is taking some 100 question is there, right? That will take some time.
You will not even touch that 100 question.
No, sir.
It's waste of joining the session here, Vinay Chikeri, to be frank. Are you getting why we are giving an assignment?
Yes, sir.
Tell me
To
why.
get a, to get a grip on concepts, sir.
Then you are not even getting a grip on that concept. Suppose if I'm running some script from Jenkins and one of the concept that I've given, that I'm picking a concept out of 100 question, one of the scenario that I'm running from Jenkins, are you able to understand that? Are you in a position to understand that? See, I'm telling from day one, we use Jenkins to integrate all the tools. We use script, we run script from Jenkins, we integrate build tools in Jenkins, we build. See, we are planning to build one sample project from C, sample project from Java, and we will generate one build and we will push that to the Artifactory. This is what we have to do ultimately from Jenkins, yeah. To do that, you need to know basic things. Vinay, even though if you are working, you need to work on these concepts. Okay. I can understand that you are working. Okay. But we are also working to make you understand, right?
Yes, sir.
You need to support, right?
Yes, sir.
Then, okay. Let's keep it aside. Is my screen visible to everybody? Okay. Now let's configure a node from Jenkins. Okay. See, this is basically the master, right? So where we install a
Yes, sir.
Jenkins. Okay. So where we install a Jenkins, is called master, and master can be a slave or node in the project itself. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'll log into server, ssh next key followed by the server name. Okay, so now let's delete this workspace. Just a minute, please. Okay, sorry. Yes, so I have logged into the servers, and I'll go to the console here. Let's log into, okay, Jenkins I have already logged in. So I'll show the process to configure a node now. Okay, so as I told, the node is basically snapping tool. We use particular job on particular node, right? So let me show here snippet. Okay, and the Jenkins master, let's say this is a Jenkins master, and we can connect a slave, and let's say this is Jenkins master, and we can connect node 1, okay, and node 2 to the master. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Okay, now instead of creating a separate server, I'm keeping this Jenkins master itself as a node. This Jenkins master will act as a node. Why? Because here only we install Jenkins, right? So instead of creating a separate server, so I'll be creating Jenkins master itself as a node. Okay, we also can create another server node, and we can connect to this Jenkins master. So how do we connect? We generate a key here, and we add the key under this server. That's it. We are get connected with that. Okay, and we know the passwordless connection. Okay, and these we call it as node, and these we call it as slave, and these we call it as agent. Should connect it to the Jenkins master. Okay, and this also we call it as slave, this call it as agent. Okay, all three are same. Clear with this concept? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's configure node in the Jenkins master itself. Okay, so how do we configure? I will, where is the Jenkins? Okay, so I'll go here. I'll go to manage nodes, sorry, manage Jenkins. Under manage Jenkins there is a tab called nodes. Okay, I'll give, there is a built-in node. So whatever the pipelines that we ran till today, okay, so whatever the pipelines that we executed, we ran some scripts, right? We executed some of the scripts, and we ran some freestyle project. that ran on the default node only. We have not created any dedicated node, dedicated slave, dedicated agent to be created, and we have not ran on the dedicated node. Okay, that run on the built-in node only. Now let's create a new node. Okay, let's give the node name as, I'm gonna give node name as Linux Git. Why? Because this node should be integrated with Linux operating system and Git pre-built installed. Okay, that is the reason. For identification purpose, I'm gonna giving it as Linux Git. You can also provide Docker Kubernetes, okay, as a node name, because for the identification this node is installed with Docker and Kubernetes. Similarly, you can also provide Terraform. Okay, it is installed with Terraform. Similarly, it is, you can also provide AWS Linux Git. This node is configured with AWS installed Linux operating system and Git installed. Okay, normally we follow these node names. Getting my point? So that we can identify easily for the identification purpose, because we use lot of agents, lot of nodes. Okay, that is the reason we have to use the specific labels or the specific name. Okay, now let's keep it as AWS Linux Git. It should be permanent agent. Okay, and now I'm going to click create. Okay, here it will redirect to the configure page of node. After providing your name and the click on, once you click on the permanent agent, it will redirect to the configure page of node. So here we need to provide the proper configuration details. Okay, name should be AWS Linux Git. Okay, and under description let it be empty, and number of executors. Let me explain this each line one by one. Okay, so what is this number of executors? This number of executors define, suppose if you want to run two project parallelly. Okay, one, one on Java and one on C project, you need to provide number of executors as two. So only maximum you can able to generate two. You cannot run parallelly three jobs. To run three jobs you need to provide three. Okay, just a minute please. Sorry. So now we were discussing about the number of executors, means the execution parallelly. Number of executors represents the parallel execution. Suppose if you want to execute four jobs parallelly, you need to provide four. Okay, now when we provide four parallel jobs, one you can run on Java, the other one you can run on C project, the other you can run on Node.js project, and the other maybe any other leftover project can run in another parallel provision. Okay, see this number of executors, you need to understand clearly the execution parallelly, the parallel execution. Number of parallel jobs can run parallelly. There are four jobs can run parallelly. If you provide three, there are three jobs can run parallelly. Parallel in the sense, suppose if your jobs are running in the master. Okay, okay, now you want to run it. Okay, parallel means you triggered a Jenkins job, right? At the same time, suppose when we provide number of executors is three jobs at a time can trigger. Okay, So how it's triggered? Job 1, job 1, and job 2, job 3. Okay, so remember that in Jenkins you will see, waiting for the executors, right? Waiting for the execute. Yes. Waiting for executor means, okay, it it is waiting for these executors only. That is the reason Vinay. So yesterday you were getting some error, right? When we configure this node only, suppose when you are running job on this particular node, so it will ask for waiting for executor. Okay, waiting for next available executor. That's what the three jobs can run parallelly. This is how three jobs will trigger automatically. Okay, and suppose if the user is triggered job 1, okay, the another user means another resource, another developer can also trigger job 2. And also, let's say there are 30 people are working in a project, there is only one Jenkins master is installed, and all 30 developers can run at a time. They can run only 3 jobs at a time. Okay, why? Because the number of executors we created only 3, and the rest of the developers need to wait until these 3 jobs get completed. Just a minute, please. Sorry, guys. I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So
Yes, sir.
I was explaining this number of executors, right? So let's say when we provide a number of executors 3 here in the Jenkins. So when I provide number of executors is 3, so we are able to execute 3 jobs parallelly. Okay, so these 3 can execute parallelly. Okay, suppose when we have 40 members in a team, so only 3 developers can run at a time. Rest of the developers, so when they triggered, the Jenkins will show like waiting for next available executor. Okay, this is how we need to configure. This is basically the complete configuration of Jenkins. Okay, now as of now, let's keep it as 2. Okay, and the next will be remote root directory. So what is this remote root directory? Remote root directory represents so where the Jenkins should be configured in the remote root directory. Okay, so as of now, what is our remote root directory? Let's keep this as remote root directory. Okay, copy this slash ubuntu slash home slash ubuntu is our remote root directory. Okay, so this is how this is what our remote root directory of the Jenkins. Okay, so now what is this remote root directory? Remote root directory where we need to configure, where we need to connect to the remotely. Okay, remote root directory, understand this term, remote, connecting remotely to the Jenkins master. To connect that we need a path, so this path only we need to, currently I have kept it as slash home slash ubuntu as remote root directory. Okay, now we can also provide a labels for this particular node. Let's keep the same label. The label is this. Let's give AWS Linux Git as label. Okay, under usage, keep, there are two usages are available for this node. Use this node as much as possible. Only build jobs with label expressions matching this node. Are you able to understand these two? The very first is saying use this node as much as possible. Suppose then this node can be used whenever we point this label. This is what it is saying for the second option. Okay, normally we keep use this node as much as possible. Okay, and here is the launch method. What is this launch method? How do we launch the agent? There are two types. Launch agent by connecting it to the controller, means Jenkins controller, or launch agents via SSH. Either you can launch the agent via SSH key or connecting it to the controller. Let's keep the first one, launch agent by connecting it to the controller. Okay. Now availability. So what does this availability represents? Availability means keep this agent online as much as possible. Okay, even whenever developers wants to trigger the job. Okay, so this should be always available. That is the reason we will keep this agent online as much as possible. The second option, bring this agent online according to the schedule. Okay, so what we understood about the schedule, whenever developer scheduled or when we scheduled a Jenkins job with a particular set of certain time, cron tab, right? So only the agent should be available at that when the cron tab is scheduled. No, because our project wants all time 24 bar 7 365 days this tool should be available. Okay, normally we'll not go this option, but this we can go based on the project requirement normally. Okay, and bring the third option, bring this agent online when demand and take offline when idle. Okay, so when we go this option, suppose if you have some criticality in the project, instead of keep it running for this Jenkins as an application when you purchased in the project, the Jenkins is consuming more costing. Basically this third option will be on costing. Suppose if you are not able to run the job, let's keep it offline. Correct. Suppose if you are working, you want to run, you are developing it locally, and morning from 9 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock you are developing a code, and only at that 6 o'clock in the evening you need to run the Jenkins job. Till that, let's keep it application offline, right? We can save some costing. Okay, so that's how the third option will do, right? So normally this is basically in the costing. Okay, so we will not go this, we'll use keep this agent online as much as possible. Okay, clear? Guys, I'm explaining each and every point here. When I'm asking a question, if you're not in a position to understand that, when you're not explaining, when I'm asking a question, again it's very difficult for us to again get some more topics. Okay, somebody has joined late. Who is that? Let me pick a name. Somebody has joined late. Who is that? Just a minute. Okay. Okay, now the last option will be node properties. Okay, so disable deferred wipeout on this node. Okay, these are basically the environment properties, we call it as disk space monitoring thresholds. Suppose if you want to set the threshold, if you're having any threshold to set for a matrix, you can enable free disk space threshold 1 GB, free disk space warning threshold. Suppose if you got 2 GB of, suppose if you want to set an warning alert for 2 GB, you can set it up. Free temp space threshold for 1 GB, you can set it. This is basically on the environmental properties. And environmental variable also you can set. Suppose if there are any environmental variable that you want to set for this agent, environmental variable in the sense, let's say there are development will be going on for 4 environments like dev, QA, UAT and prod. You can set those variables here for this particular node only. Okay, and then tool location, if there are any tools that you wanted to configure, external tools with the third party tools, you can keep the location here. Okay, this is what the node properties. Okay, now we have given the node name and we have provided number of executors as 2 to run 2 jobs parallelly, and then remote root directory where the remote where this node to be connected remotely, and then label of a node, and then usage of the node, launch method of the node, availability of the node. Okay, let's click on save. Okay, so apart from built-in node, there is one more AWS Linux kit is created, correct? Correct, right? Now it is saying into mark, right? Means this is not even having response time is NA, means not applicable, means it is in offline. This node is offline. How do we make it online? Let's keep it open in another tab. Okay, this only I opened, right? AWS Linux Git. Here we can see AWS Linux Git, the node I have opened here. So it is giving some suggestion, correct? The agent, what is the status of an agent? Status of an agent is offline. You see here, AWS Linux Git agent, AWS Linux Git agent is offline. How do we make it online? To use this node to run the Jenkins job, there are some instructions to use for Linux. Suppose if you want to configure it from Windows, you can use this. And also if you want to configure this from secret file stored, you can use these commands. And even secret file from Linux, secret file from Windows. Okay, now what is our configuration now? Our configuration is for Linux, right? Let's run these commands. So what these commands will do, this will download the agent.jar and connected it to the Jenkins master or Jenkins controller to this particular node. This node to be connected. See, currently I am configuring this node 1 or Jenkins master itself into the Jenkins controller. You were able to understand this? To connect this, I'll have to download it with, I need to follow these instructions for Linux because ours is Linux Ubuntu, right? I'm gonna run this command in the local where we need to run this command. Remember that where you added your remote root directory. Okay, what is our remote root directory?
Home Ubuntu.
Exactly. So let's run the command here because the path where you provided for remote root directory, only this agent.jar should be downloaded. What is this curl will do?
Be better.
Read the URL.
It will read the URL and also it downloads the agent.jar. Okay, and you can use wget or curl to download it. Okay, now if I run this, it will get downloaded with agent.jar. Okay, see here you can see in the node configuration what it is doing, curl -so followed by this URL and download this agent.jar. Why this agent.jar is required? to connect this and to connect this node to the Jenkins controller. Okay, these commands are automatically generated when we create this node by providing label, by providing agent availability, by providing the name, by providing the remote root directory. Okay, after providing those, we are connecting it to this node to the Jenkins controller. To connect that, we need to download it with agent.jar, and we need to run this command. This command, let me explain this command. See, to run to work in Jenkins, Java should be installed, correct? Jenkins is dependent with Java. And this is for the Java command, java-jar. What is the jar file that we downloaded? The jar file that we downloaded is here, right? Agent.jar in the same path, agent.jar in the same path of the URL of Jenkins. What is the URL of our Jenkins? Public IP, public port number, correct? And followed by -secret. This is the secret which is provided by Jenkins master to connect this node itself as a Jenkins controller. Okay, this is the secret which is provided by Jenkins controller to connecting it. Okay, -name. What is our node name? AWS Linux,
Yes.
correct? Followed by WebSocket and work directory. What is our remote root directory? The remote root directory will be /home/ubuntu, correct? You were able to understand this command. Now I'm gonna copy this. After downloading by running above command, I have downloaded agent.jar, and I'm gonna run with the below command by, let's clear this screen, by do ls. You need to run this command. You need to run this command where your agent.jar is present. Agent.jar is presented here, exist here, right? So that is the reason. Understand this clearly. This is the Java command. We are passing agent.jar along with our Jenkins server name, followed by the secret name. Secret ends here, and followed by the agent name, followed by the WebSocket, that is the remote root directory. Is this is what we are running along with the agent.jar, java-jar file as agent.jar, followed by Jenkins URL, followed by Jenkins secret, followed by the node name, followed by the WebSocket path is this with the remote root directory. Okay, now let's run this. What it is saying? What it is saying here?
Connected.
Now this node is connected to the Jenkins master, right? How do we see that? Let's go to Jenkins here. So if you refresh this page, we should be able to see the agent is connected. Is the Jenkins agent is connected?
Yes.
Now, if you refresh this page again, you will not see this into mark in red highlighted. Okay, you were able to see response time is in 80 milliseconds for Linux, AWS Linux Git. Earlier it was you were also see clock difference, means in sync. It is not even not applicable, right? Now are we get connected with the Jenkins master? This node itself, this master itself is a node, right? Now let's see, once you ran all the command by configuring, by provided all the details in the node configuration, once you ran by downloading agent.jar and by connecting it, you should be able to see agent is connected. Now our agent AWS Linux Git is configured. Now let's configure Git, configure node, and execute a job. Let's duplicate this. Okay, and make sure that you should not close this tab. Okay, if you want to log in the server, do duplicate here, else you can log in one more time by logging in by passing your key, but don't close this terminal. If you close this now, your again agent will go down. Okay, this agent will go down. I will show when it will go down. Okay, let's close this. Okay, now let's configure a job. Go to Jenkins. I'm gonna click on new item. Let's provide sample project. Okay, sample project, click on freestyle, click OK. This will go to configure page of job. Let's log into GitLab here in the same page. Sorry, GitLab is here. Okay, now let's go to the project configuration. See here in the general setup, you can see restrict where this project can run, right? Click on this and remember that we have provided a label. We have provided a label for this agent, right? What is the label?
AWS Linux Kit.
AWS Linux.
Exactly. And also you can see project tied to this label. Okay, copy this AWS Linux kit, copy this and go to the configuration page of job. You provide the label expression here. Are we able to see this existing node which is reflecting in below? Just click on this. What it is saying, AWS Linux Git, label AWS Linux Git matches one node. Are we able to see? And permissions or other restrictions provided by plugins may further reduce the list. If there are other nodes also, we can provide by providing a label here. Now this project is configuring with AWS Linux Git as an agent. We are tagging this project to, we are restricting this project to run this particular node. Okay, now let's move to the further session, that is SCM source code management section. Click on Git. Here we're going to provide the repository URL. I'll use HTTPS, put HTTPS link over here and provide the GitLab credentials that we created in Jenkins under Jenkins credentials, correct? Nikhil Achar. Okay, now we have selected the credentials and also for we need to point the branch. The branch, it is main, correct? In our case in GitLab, the branch will be main. Okay, now I'll go to the build trigger section. Okay, I'll go to the build step, add build step, under execute shell. Let me execute one of the script, that is, let's execute retry.sh, correct? That's what yesterday we have posted. Let's execute sh retry.sh. Okay, now I'm gonna save. Okay, now this project, this sample project is configured with node and configured with git, and we are running one of the script. Okay, just click on build now. So we should be able to see the builds here in the build section. So it is running. So even you can also open while it is running as well, and you can also open while it executed as well. Okay, now go to console output. Here you can see the output of Jenkins. Okay, let me understand this one by one after configuring a node. Okay, so obviously it starts with user, it is in my name, and running as system and building remotely on what? So are we able to see the node is connected with to run this project, building remotely on AWS Linux Git in the workspace as this. See, Jenkins master itself as a node. That's how we connected. Okay, and the recommended Git tool is, this is credential of our repository, and this is the repository it cloned from Jenkins. And the path of the project is this, where the git initialized the cloning is happened with this path. And also for the repository it cloned, it sets as a remote. And also the checkout revision is this, and the commit message adding retry.sh, correct? This is what the latest commit from our GitLab. You go to code, click on commits, and the latest commit, always Jenkins pulls the latest head hash id, that is adding retry.sh, right? Sorry, the project is here, and it is executing sh retry.sh. Internet is available, the build is success. The important point here is it is building remotely on the labeled. We are able to see the label that we provided for agent and that we connected to the Jenkins controller. Are we able to see this? Clear for everybody? Any questions and any doubts? This is how we configure Node, and this is how we configure Git in Jenkins. So what we understood for the slave and master, I think I have given a definition for slave and master. F. Okay, so Jenkins slave or master represents the slave or agent is a separate machine configured to build the job from the master to distribute the loads to different server. Okay, currently we have not distributed it, we are not distributing it, but we are creating Jenkins master itself as a node. Okay, and also run the specific job on a specific server. Okay, to run the specific job on specific server, we are restricting this project to run by providing a label. This is how the label is very important in Jenkins. We can provide a labels for node, and those particular label that we can use it in the Jenkins configuration to build a particular project on the specific node. This is what the configuration that we do for an agent, Jenkins slave or node or agent, right? You are able to understand this statement now? Any questions and any doubts? Anybody has any questions and any doubts? Nikhil Achar.
Yes, Sandeep.
When you joined?
7th, actually, internet was like on and off, so I was joined at like 7:25.
You told that yesterday you will making sure that you will be get connected with properly, right? You told yesterday.
Yes, Sandeep.
Uh,
By
and
7:20.
even I have pinged in the group, and it is scheduled meeting, right? I mean scheduled. Informed in the group, right?
Yes, Sandeep.
Then even though why you joined in and out? I mean, I saw that you were doing in and out. You joined at 7:30. Again you went out. Again you joined at 8 o'clock and went out. Now, have you
No.
understood this? Okay.
Yes, Sandeep.
You understood the configuration of node.
Yes, Sandeep.
Okay. Can you explain now?
Yes, Sandeep. Regarding
Can you explain the node configuration?
yeah. Here we are making an
It's
Jenkins
not
node.
Jenkins, it's Jenkins.
Yeah,
Pronounce
in
proper
Jenkins,
to me. Go ahead.
where we are making it as a yeah, in Jenkins only we are making it as an workspace. in by using the GitHub, uh, GitLab. Sorry, GitHub, not it's GitLab.
Nikhil, if you are not sure, tell that you not understood. Have you understood the node configuration?
Yes, and
Okay, if yes, then fine. Anybody has any questions? Vinay Chikeri. Any doubt in the node configuration and the job configuration? Because this is very, very important. We use these configurations. Nikhil, go on mute. Nikhil Acha. Okay. So these configuration, see till now we are integrating with only the freestyle project, correct? And going forward, we also use the pipeline project to run a Jenkins file. Okay, here in my GitLab account, the repository is here, and we're gonna write a Jenkins file. I'll show the sample Jenkins file how it looks. See, here is a Jenkins file. So this is what we do. This is what we do in the pipeline project. You are able to see this Jenkins file, and we provide agent label. So whatever the label that we created in here, here, this label only we provide here, and this is the label and the environment and the configuration. Suppose if you want to run SonarQube, any configuration tool that we need to run it, and we will use the configuration of those tools, and we use some of the stages. I'll explain. No worries on this Jenkins stages. Okay, and this is Jenkins sample Jenkins file that I'm showing currently. Okay, and also for the analysis and then post build actions. Okay, this is what we do in the pipeline project. Okay, we'll not do any manual configuration like that we did for freestyle when we went for pipeline job. Okay, suppose if I go here, okay, it's went down. Remember that when we are providing a project name, we till today we are practicing only the freestyle project. There is one more called pipeline, right? Under project types of project. So under pipeline project going forward, we will spend more time in the pipeline project itself, because that is most important, because the Jenkins is basically the CI/CD, the framework that we do through the pipeline project only. Okay, and some of the organization also they'll use freestyle by providing their dedicated node. Okay, and it's better to have the dedicated node to run particular project on a particular node. Okay, and the node configuration under manage Jenkins we have this one stuck again.
Sir, if this IP address gets changed, then this node will goes down, because based on that only this node is created. No?
Yes, so if your IP get changed, your node
Change.
also will
Yes.
get down. And again, you need to run this page, the command that I shown for Unix Windows. Those that will
Okay.
get opened. If you click on this node, that page will get opened and run the command. And no need to download the agent.jar again and again. Once you download it, that is fine. The another command which I ran, right, that you can run.
Yes, call command.
The curl, not the curl, not the curl. Curl is you're downloading it for agent.jar.
Downloading.
And
Java jar you ran it. Yes.
yes, just you run this command to get connected again. That's it. So if you close this terminal now, your agent will get down. You're not able to see agent is connected. You will see only those command list page. Okay,
Okay.
you run that command again,
Okay.
you will get connected. Make sure that you are running with the path where your remote root directory is provided when you are configuring a node.
Okay.
Okay, Stuck again. Let's stop and restart it. Any questions? Any questions and any doubts? Stop instance. Anybody has any questions and any doubt? Okay, it's or all 30 the assignment that I have given you. Okay, okay, all 30 script. Execute this assignment by dedicated node in the dedicated node, and I want the screenshot for agent is get connected from everybody. Once you configure this node, okay, I'll give the assignment. I'll give an assignment and I'll share the nodes as well for the node configuration. Okay. Any questions again? If no questions, let's wind up the session. Tomorrow we'll start the pipeline, Jenkins pipeline. And to start with Jenkins pipeline, we need to configure the Jenkins file. And let's understand the Jenkins file before we start a Jenkins pipeline and what are all the components it has and what the design, what the language it uses, and what is this Jenkins file. Let's understand that and let's move forward with Jenkins pipeline. Okay, clear for everybody. And let's configure one project and let's execute the project from Jenkins. Okay. And also there are a lot of things to learn from Jenkins. Let's go one by one. Okay. Anybody pending with registration?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay. So let's talk one on one, Nikhil.
Yes, Sandeep.
Okay. Nikhil Achar. Anybody is pending with registration? Okay. Let's get the list. Any questions at last before wind up the session? Okay. If no questions, let's wind up the session. Let's connect evening for Q&A and tomorrow same 7 o'clock for the session. I'll share this in the group. Download that and work on the node configuration and Jenkins configuration. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.